Hey, how you doing today? I am Tequila Coleman. In today's video, we're going to talk about your spouse earning you back. So before I get started, this video, it is for my God-ordained spouses. It's not for standards, okay? Not standards, those who are currently married. You can benefit from listening to this video, watching this video, but it's not for you simply because you're married. God is always speaking to your prodigal husband or wife and telling them to go back home, right? So this is why this video isn't for you. When you hear me, share the advice, you'll understand why I'm saying it's not for standards. However, you can benefit from this information I'm about to share because this is a self-worth conversation we're about to have, okay? So I was having this conversation earlier today with one of my clients in our session, and, I would just share with her how her spouse needs to earn her back. And whenever you're dealing with a prodigal who is mistreating you, who is keeping you hidden, who isn't consistent, not sure whether they want you or a counterfeit, right? And you got to understand how this works, because prodigals come and go. They in and out, right? They inconsistent, right? So number one, God doesn't want us entertaining that as the God-ordained spouse. And then number two, God, in his eyes, when you're being treated this way, even if it is from your prodigal spouse, God looks at it like this individual doesn't deserve you, okay? This individual who is mistreating you, who may even be abusing you, who is overlooking you, who is rejecting you, who has abandoned you, who may even have betrayed you. God, in God's eye, they don't deserve you, right? And so we got to begin to understand, when it comes down to prodigals coming back, they must earn their way back in, okay? So let's talk about how does this look? How does your spouse earning you back, how does it look, okay? So your spouse earning you back, your spouse has to get the mindset where they are willing to change for the better, right? You do yourself a disservice when you just accept your spouse back just anyway, right? When you tell yourself, well, I guess, they will never change, I guess I'll just tolerate this. No, we don't tolerate anything, okay? You a God-ordained spouse, okay? God wants you to raise your standards and keep them high, okay? We don't tolerate, bad behavior. We don't tolerate immaturity. We don't go down to prodigals level. We bring them up to our level, okay? And so you must begin to understand, your prodigal earning you back, how it looks like, number one, them willing to change their behavior, okay? Because think about it, to change your behavior, that means I'm now becoming my best self, right? But it also looks like your prodigal is now respecting your standards. They are respecting your boundaries. They're not breaking your boundaries. They're not trying to lower your standards and have you come down to their standards. No, okay? When we talk about your prodigal earning you back, it has everything to do with them respecting your boundaries and standards. It also has, your prodigal earning you back, are they willing to admit that they were wrong? Can they apologize? This is maturity, okay? Marriage is for the mature. Marriage is for the humble, okay? Marriage is for team players, okay? Your prodigal earning you back, are they willing to put away the counterfeits because they recognize who you are? Come on now. Are they willing to display in their actions that they are off the market and they're with you? Right? This has everything to do with your prodigal earning you back. Are they willing to be consistent? Are they willing to keep their word when they give it? Are they willing to put in the effort? Okay? Because let me tell you something. This is what I said. You know how when you go to a job Monday through Friday, let's say from 7 to 3 p.m., because you put in that work Monday through Friday, you was there from 7 to 3 p.m., you work hard. You probably even put in overtime. On Friday, you are about to get a check because you earned that check, right? But if you don't go to work the whole week, you didn't earn anything, so you don't deserve a check, right? And this is what I'm saying, with the God-ordained spouses. If your prodigal, if they not putting in any effort, if they isn't, being consistent, if they isn't willing to change for the better, if they isn't willing to, put these counterfeits away, they don't deserve your time or attention. You have to place value on yourself. Okay, let me tell you something about self-worth, because sometimes when we are healing and when we are coming into seeing our own self-worth, it becomes uncomfortable, right? It's uncomfortable in the beginning, right? Because you're not used to this. You're not used to someone respecting you. You're not used to someone, respecting your standards and or meeting your standards and respecting your boundaries, right? You're not used to, this man showing up this way, right? And it feels uncomfortable. But let me tell you something. Even when it feels uncomfortable, you have to tell yourself, this is what I deserve, okay? Whether or not I realize it or not, I know I deserve this. My Heavenly Father doesn't even want me dealing with this, right? I remember when the Lord, when he was dealing with me concerning self-worth, there's a scripture, I believe it's in Isaiah, it says, you are precious in my sight. And when I began to look up the definition for precious, it means of great value, not to be wasted or treated carelessly. And so in that moment, I began to, understand God, he doesn't even want me to mistreat myself. That's how much God values me and loves me, right? So God doesn't even want you to mistreat yourself. And to mistreat yourself is to overlook your own boundaries and standards. To mistreat yourself is to allow a prodigal to continue to abuse you, or to continue to, use you and take advantage of you or neglect you. Come on now. So this is really a self-worth conversation here. We have to allow these prodigals to earn their way back in. Okay, you don't just open the door to them just because based off their word. No. Okay, I hear your word, but can you keep your word? I want to see that word in action. Okay, I want to see that word in action. I hear you saying you're going to change, but let me see it show up in your behavior. Okay, because the only thing I'm going to respect is change behavior. It's the action. Okay, and so understand, again, your spouse needs to earn their way back. For my my gentlemen, who watch my videos, my God-ordained husband, same thing applies with your prodigal, future wife. Okay, she needs to earn her way back in. Don't just open the door to her just because she's calling out of the blue saying, hey, no. She needs to earn your love and your respect back. She needs to earn your attention back, okay? She needs to show you at the first sign of a disagreement, she's not going to run out of that door and begin to start rejecting you. Okay, she needs to, show you that she can say, I'm sorry. She can admit that she was wrong, right? It's not always about her. She needs to show you that. She needs to show you that she is willing to communicate, even when, you may have said something to upset her. She needs to show you that she is willing to change for the better in her action. We have to allow these prodigals to, show us, okay, that they are willing to meet our standards. They are willing to respect our boundary. They are willing to change for the better, because prodigals understand that changing for the better is for their best interests, right? One of our role as a helpmeet is to help your king to become a better husband. How do you do that? You hold him accountable to becoming a better man. You hold him accountable in, with getting back in right standing with the Lord. You hold him accountable to his own word when he give it to you. Okay? So understand, it's all about your spouse earning you back. And I'm going to tell you this right here. God, he won't even allow your spouse to come back, without them first showing God that they are, that like your spouse has to show God that they really want this love story. Your spouse has to prove to God that they are doing whatever it takes to get you back, right? So God is already putting that requirement on your spouse. Therefore, you must begin to put that requirement on your spouse as well. Your spouse is going to come back, okay? Your spouse is going to come back, all right? But in the meantime, okay, we have to move into, seeing ourselves as worthy and valuable, okay, and just requiring it, okay? When you require it, your spouse, they're going to meet that requirement. They might not meet it the first time, but as you continue to stand strong on your boundaries, your standards, they will meet it, okay? But you got to require it from them. You have to, in so many words, not really saying it with your words, but you communicate this in your action. You have to communicate in your actions to your spouse. Because I see the best in you and I know the best is on the inside of you, I don't accept anything less. I'm not coming off my standards. I'm not coming down off my standards. I'm not, going to tolerate this and that. No, I deserve more than that, right? And you got to keep your standards high, right? You have to, just let your spouse know, like, I believe in you. I believe you can meet these standards. I believe you can treat me better than what you're offering me right now. And when you decide that you're ready to treat me better, then that's when I will begin to give you my attention again. Okay, we got to stop rewarding bad behavior. They will never change. Okay, so know your value, know that you are valuable, know that your spouse, he or she will meet your standards, but you got to require it from them. Okay, and remember what I said, even when you don't feel like you deserve this, or even when you feel it feels uncomfortable, you still command it. You still command it, okay? They might walk away, they might reject you, but understand, God doesn't want anyone mistreating his children, okay? He doesn't want anyone mistreating you. He said you are the apple of his eye, his most precious, prized possession. He said you are fearfully and wonderfully made, okay? So you have to walk in that. God see you as his queen. God see you as his king. Okay? Your spouse will meet your standards and your boundaries, okay? They will see your worth and value. You got to require this, okay, from your spouse. Pull out the best out of your spouse. This is how you do it. We don't got to do all this talking. It's just really in your action. Pull out the best in your spouse. They will meet it because and I'm going to say this, I'm going to close with this. And I'm going to tell you why they're going to meet this, because they never had someone to challenge them in this way. They never had someone to challenge them in this way. And they know, because you require the best from them, they already know he or she loved me. He or she has my best interest at heart, because they won't even let me play at a low game. They won't even allow me to just, mistreat them or just give them just little breadcrumbs here and there. No. So your spouse, in their quiet time, they're going to sit back and they're going to think about your standards and your boundaries, and they're going to meet it one day, okay? A day is coming when your spouse is going to meet your standards and boundaries, okay? But I need you to, require for your spouse to earn you back, okay? And it looked like I was saying, looked like your spouse putting in the effort. It looked like your spouse pursuing you. It looked like your spouse being consistent. They're keeping their word. They're willing to apologize. They're willing to change for the better. They're willing to put away these counterfeit and just focus solely on you and their relationship, okay? So with that, I am Tequila Coleman. I'll talk to you all real soon. Take care.